Hello everyone, it is Sunday, June 12th, 2022. It's a little bit rainy outside right now. I'm sitting on the porch having my coffee, and I wanted to get on here for just a moment to address something. This video, I feel like, is made for both adults and children. I think that something that's really important to consider in childhood is how open we are to all possibilities, how impressed we are by even the smallest details in life, all of the minutiae that we find incredibly awe-inspiring. As we age and the world tells us that those things that we find so fascinating really aren't that fascinating, we have a tendency to become cynical. We have a tendency to limit our own potential because we believe the narrative of other people, that we should have strict limitations on what we can attain, what we can achieve, that we shouldn't try to push outside of the box people want to put us in. That box that other people create for us, or that we even create for ourselves, that can become our own prison. A prison either of our own making or by others. And I think it's really important when you are considering what your aspirations are, either as a child or as an adult. Try to address those aspirations with your higher power. Pray about them, really think about, is that God's calling for you? And if you feel led in that direction, even if you can only do it a little at a time, you should still pursue that. Because I don't think that you're being led in your prayer to move in that direction if it's not meant for you. You have to keep in mind that other people, when they weigh in on your aspirations for yourself, they are going to try to do what's best for them, not necessarily what's best for you. So you always have to keep that in mind. Your family, your friends, the way to detect whether or not they're really for you is whether or not they support your dreams. Now, there is something to be said for having a friend that can bring you back down to earth a bit if the aspirations are not attainable. But they need to have, I think, a legitimate argument for that position. They need to be able to articulate specifically why they don't think that that is possible or feasible. And you need to be able to have a dialogue about it. And whatever obstacles there are to you achieving your goals and your dreams for your future, the great thing about the world is there's always a way. It might not be an easy path, but there is always a way. In my experience, people can get through some incredibly difficult obstacles and still achieve their goal. It may not be on the time frame that they had anticipated initially, but that does not mean that it can't be done. If other people try to deter you in your path, the path that you know is meant for you, if they try to dominate and control you or change the course of your life because that's what's best for them, just understand that any form of domination in that way that limits your potential is a form of satanic abuse. You really need to acknowledge that that's what you're dealing with, because when you're dealing with people like that, they're going to push and push and keep taking advantage of you in that way as much as you will facilitate that happening. And I say facilitate that happening, that you're facilitating it, because you have the option, even as a child, to push back and say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow you to kill my dreams. I'm not going to allow you to make me feel less than. Because I know in prayer, when I talk to God, that He has told me that I am worthy. He has told me that I have a bright future. And He has told me that I am not to listen to the opinions of man. I am to study the Word of God, and I am to stay in prayer. And that needs to be the first place I go to for advice. I hope that you found some comfort in this message today. There are a lot of people that will do their best to tear us down in order to control us. But that is not God's intention for you. He does not want you to live that way. He does not want other people to dictate every aspect of your life. If that's what's going on in your life, do your best to try to seek out different support systems if that's possible for you. Unfortunately, people that are dealing in this type of dynamic are often very isolated from resources that would help them to address those types of problems going on in their life. So if that is your situation, I'll pray for you. Feel free to reach out. It is possible to overcome this sort of abuse, but it's not an easy path. You're not being oppositional or defiant because you're standing up for yourself. Don't let people tell you that what you're doing is wrong, because you know better. Have a wonderful Sunday. God bless.